Nityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Ārādhyo Bhagavan Rajesha-tanaya Stadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kājitupāsana Vrajavadhu Vargena va Kalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanamamalam Premah Pumartho Mahan Śrī Caitanya-Mahāprabhu Matamidam Tatradhara Para Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 47, Bhramar Geet, the Song of the Bees. Prabhupada translates this in the Krishna book as the delivery of the message of Krishna to the gopis. So, Anjali suggested that we should read Krishna book also parallelly for this chapter, especially because Prabhupada gave the Krishna book himself much before the Bhagavatam, and we know that while he was translating and giving purport to the 10th canto, 14th chapter, he wrapped up his earthly pastimes. So, but Krishna book was, came before that. So these are directly Prabhupada's words, which are like Shastra. So we know that Uddhava and the gopis are talking, and then comes the bee, which technically the gopis, the Radharani is talking to the bee, but indirectly talking to Uddhava. And they are expressing their disgust. Krishna is bad, Krishna is unkind, Krishna is ungrateful, Krishna is not a good person. In that way, they are expressing their transcendental love. So one of the gopis, Srimati Radharani, was so much absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna with the dint of her personal touch with him that she actually began to talk with a bumblebee. That's where the song Bumblebee begins. And then the Radharani is basically speaking that. While the other gopis were talking with Krishna's messenger, Uddhava, Srimati Radharani took the bumblebee to be a messenger from Krishna and began to talk with it as follows. You are accustomed, O bumblebee, you are accustomed to drinking the honey from the flower to flower, and therefore you have preferred to be a messenger of Krishna who is the same nature as you. Basically, he's also jumping from one place to the other, indirectly telling Krishna. So you were with the woman of Vrindavan, now you are going with the woman of Mathura. You are jumping like a bumblebee. I can see your mustaches, the red powder of kumkum which was smeared on the flower garland of Krishna, while it was pressed against the breast of some other girl who is my competitor. You feel very proud because of having touched that garland, and your mustaches, so the bumblebee's mustaches, have become reddish. You have come here carrying a message for me, anxious to touch my feet, but my dear bumblebee, let me warn you, don't touch me. I don't want any messages from your unreliable master, calling Krishna unreliable. You are the unreliable servant of the reliable master. Transcendental Man, Man Leela. There is a place called Mangad where Krishna Radharani did Man and Krishna came to pacify. It may be that Srimati Radharani purposely addressed the bumblebee sarcastically in order to indirectly criticized the messenger Uddhava. So that was the point where we kind of stopped last time, that she is telling indirectly, keep your head off my feet. I know what you're trying to do. You're expert in diplomacy from Mukunda. So this was the text 16 we read last. Don't touch me. Don't try to come near my feet. Don't try to beg for forgiveness and all. Indirectly criticized Uddhava, the messenger. Like the other gopis, Srimati Radharani saw that Uddhava's bodily feature resembled Krishna's, but she also saw Uddhava as being equal to Krishna. Indirectly, therefore, she indicated that Uddhava was as unreliable as Krishna himself. Srimati Radharani wanted to give specific reasons why was she dissatisfied with Krishna and his messenger. She addressed the bumblebee. Your master, Krishna, is exactly of your quality. You sit down on a flower, and after tasting a little honey, you immediately fly and sit on another flower and taste. Similarly, only once did your master Krishna give me the chance to taste the touch of his lips, and then he left me altogether. I know also that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who is always in the midst of the lotus flower, is constantly engaged in Krishna's service. But I do not know that she has become so captivated by Krishna and why she is so much attached to Krishna, although she knows he is his actual character. That means jumping from one flower to the other. Maybe she is so much captivated by Krishna's sweet words that she cannot understand his real characters. When we say love is blind, you see his, that person's words, you forget his character. As far as we are concerned, we are more intelligent. Lakshmi Devi has lost her intelligence, but not us. We are more intelligent than the goddess of fortune. We are not going to be cheated by anymore by Krishna's or his messengers. We are intelligent people. You can't cheat us. You can't trick us. So like that, Radharani is talking. And she continues, leave me, don't touch me, don't try to come near me. You are unreliable. So like that, she is speaking many, many things. We'll go to the next verse here, text 17. Mrigayuriva kapindram vivadhe lubdadharma Strīyamakrit virupam Jita kamayanam balim api balim atvaveshtiyadhvankavadvas tad alam asita sakhir dushtitajas tad kathartha. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Prabhupada ki jai. Like a hunter, he cruelly shot the king of the monkeys with arrows. Because he was conquered by a woman, he disfigured another woman who came to him with lusty desires. And even after consuming the gifts of Bali Maharaj, he bound him with ropes as if he were a crow. So let us give up all friendship with this dark complexioned boy, even if we cannot give up talking about him. Haribol. And Krishna, so the disciples are quoting here Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada explained in the Krishna book the meaning of this verse as follows. Sri Radharani said to the bee, you poor messenger, you're only a less intelligent servant. You do not know much about Krishna. How ungrateful, hard-hearted he has been, not only in this life, but in the previous lives too. We have all heard this from our grandmother, Masi. She has informed us that Krishna was born in a Kshatriya family previous to this birth and was known as Ramachandra. In that birth, instead of killing Vali, an enemy of his friend, instead of killing Vali, an enemy of his friend, In the manner of a Kshatriya, he killed him just like a hunter. A hunter takes a secure hiding place and then kills an animal without facing it. Lord Ramchandra, as a Kshatriya, should have fought Vali face to face, but instigated by his friend, he killed him from behind a tree. Thus, he deviated from the religious principles of a Kshatriya. Also, he was so attracted by the beauty of Sita that he converted Shurpanakha, the sister of Ravana, into an ugly woman by cutting off her nose and ears. Shurpanakha proposed an intimate relationship with him, and as a Kshatriya, he should have satisfied her. But he was so henpecked that he could not forget Sita Devi and converted Shurpanakha into an ugly woman. Before that birth as a Kshatriya, he took birth as Brahmana boy known as Vamande and mm, asked charity from Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was so magnanimous that he gave him whatever he had. Yet Krishna, as Vamandev, ungratefully arrested him just like a crow and pushed him down to the Patala kingdom. We know all about Krishna and how ungrateful he is. But here is the difficulty. In spite of his being so cruel and hard hearted, it is very difficult for us to give up talking about him. Srila Vishnu Thakur points out that this speech of Radharani is called our Jalpa, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami in the following verse in the Ujjwal Neelamani. Harau Kathinya Kamitva Dhaurtyad Asaktya Ayogyata Yatra Yat Serishya Bhi Bhivokta So Avajalpa Satamataha. Saintly persons have concluded that when a lover impelled by jealousy and fear declares that Lord Hari is unworthy of her attachment because of his harshness, lustiness, and dishonesty, such speech is called avajalpa. Haripal. We discussed so many other terms also. Prajalpa, Sanjalpa, Parijalpa. There are 10 types of jalpas, one by one. We are all studying that. These are all very esoteric transcendental verses, and we kind of read this section also here. Let's see the word Rama Chandra, okay, right here. So that we just read this section. Ramachandra. This whole section we read. So back to the words, text 17. So the gopis, Radharani primarily saying that he is not he is cruel. He did an act of coward, and he is lusty. He became lusty with so, and he is also a cheater, right? Imagine if someone gives you a gift, and instead of saying thank you, you bind them, right? That's not healthy. So we should give up our friendship with him. But there is a problem. What is the problem? How can we stop thinking about him? The gopis had a very difficult problem. Our problem is, how can I stop my material fever? That is a problem. And how can I think of Krishna at least for some time? And how can I kind of take a pause from my other aspects of my life, my work pressure, my mortgage bill, my Wi-Fi, my this, that, so many, what I'll eat, what I'll do tomorrow. The mind is so consumed in all that. Where is the time to think about Krishna? With gopis, they have a different problem. They're like, he's so bad, he's so hard-hearted, he's so ungrateful, he's such a cheater, he's such a pathetic, king. He's such a, they are saying all bad words But actually, as we know, Krishna, when his devotees, even they speak gali or slang or bad words to Krishna with love and devotion, those are like nectarian to him than the so-called praises, than the so-called glorification. So gopis are not just, criticizing or complaining, but actually they're expressing their deep love through all these song, Bhramar Geet. Any comments here? Okay, let's read the next verse, text number 18. Anyone would like to read? Anyone? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Charita. Yes, Anucharita Leela Karna Piyusha Viprut Sakrud Anadha Vidhuta Dhandva Dharma Vinastaha Sapadi Gruha Kutumbam Dhinam Utsrujya Dhana Bahava Iha Vihanga Bhikshu Charyam Charanti. Translation and Prabhupada Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. To hear about the pastimes that Krishna regularly performs is nectar for the ears. For those who relish just a single drop of that nectar, even once, their dedication to material reality is ruined. Many such persons have suddenly given up their wretched homes and families and themselves become wretched, traveled here to Vrindavan to wander about like birds, begging for their living. Purport. Material duality is based on falsely thinking, this is mine and that is yours, or this is our country and that is yours, or this is my family and that is yours, and so on. In fact, there is one absolute truth in which we all exist and to whom everything belongs. His beauty and pleasure are also absolute and infinite. And if one actually hears about this absolute truth called Krishna, one's dedication to the illusion of mundane duality is spoiled. Very wonderful, Babaji. So here, everything belongs to Krishna. So we are just thinking that this belongs to me, that belongs to me, but okay, still purport is there. So you want me to continue, Prabhuji? Okay. Also absolute and infinite, and so according to the Acharyas, and certainly in according with Sanskrit grammar, the last two words of the second line of this text may also be divided dharma avinashata. Then the entire line becomes part of a single compound, the meaning of which is that hearing about Krishna cleanses one of irreligious duality, and thus one is not vanquished, avinashta, by material illusion. The word dinaha is then given the alternate reading of dhiraha, meaning that one becomes spiritually sober and thus gives up attachment to fleeting material relationships. The word vihangaha, birds, would in this case refer to swans, the symbol of essential discrimination. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti quotes Rupa Goswami as follows in connection with this verse. Bhangya traghauchitatasya kaghanam api kedhanat yatra shanushayam proktha tadbhavet abhijalpitam. When a lover indirectly states with remorse that her beloved is fit to be given up, such speech, uttered like the plaintive crying of a bird, is called abhijalpa. Very nice, Prabhuji. I think you could explain me better. So much confusion, so many derivations. What mode is that? Hare Krishna.
Great. Thank you so much, Mataji. Suddenly, you see this verse is glorifying what? What is it glorifying? What is the essence in like one line of this verse?
when we hear about Krishna, we will give up everything and we will get attracted towards him.
Don't you feel this is quite similar to bhāgavata-sevayā
Yeah.
tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam śrīmad-Bhāgavatam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida janaha. That was in the middle of the Gopi Geet. This is in the middle of Bhramar Geet. So interesting, is it not? Gopis are again and again, both are sung by gopis only in one way. To hear about the pastimes of Krishna is nectar. Tava kathamritam, this is nectar. Karna piyusha. What is Karna piyusha? Yat anucharita leela, whose pastimes. Sakrit, even once. If one hears, Vihut, Dvanda, dualities is destroyed. Dharma, or the improper propensities are destroyed immediately. For those who hear, relish these pastimes, even once, the dedication to material duality is ruined. In short, they don't feel ups and downs. I, me, mine. He's my friend, he's my enemy. The dualities. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kanchati. Sukha dukkha same kritva. Gita talks about being equipoising at least 20 plus verses. How do we become? Bhagavatam is teaching examples by hearing Krishna Katha. Many such people have suddenly given up their wretched homes and families and themselves become wretched. Wretched travel here to Vrindavan. So in one way they're saying wretched, but it's like a higher, like they have like given up artificial things of this world to wander like birds, begging. Of course, those are very high. Sri Krishna is absolute. His so-called unkind activities are as relishable as kind activities. So here, apparently, it may seem like unkind, but therefore the saintly persons and devotees like gopis cannot give up Krishna in any way. Generally, if someone is unkind to us, say, okay, to hell with you. No, don't show your face to me. Even husband, wife, they say, okay, I don't want to stay with you. Here is the divorce. But gopis, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned, you are free and independent in all respects. You can embrace me or crush me, whatever you like. But I will not, right? You are my only object of love. I'll not give you up. This is pure love. So, indirectly, Radharani is saying, you should not hear about Krishna, because as soon as you hear about Krishna into the ear, in one ear, immediately one rises above attraction and rejection. Being completely freed from the contamination of material attachment, one gives up attachment for this material world, including family, home, wife, children, and everything else materially dear to every person. Being deprived of all these material acquisition, one becomes a wanderer, right? One makes his relatives and family unhappy, right? We see that sometimes, maybe like that situation. Then he wanders in search of Krishna, like a wanderer, as human being or another species, like a bird, searching, where is my Krishna? Where is Krishna? Krishna. And voluntarily becomes a mendicant It's very difficult to actually understand Krishna, his name, form, qualities, pastimes, paraphernalia. Does it remind us of something? Very famous verse by Rupa Goswami. Anyone knows that? I'm going to open that up now. Found it. Śrī Rupa Goswami jokingly says this: worldly men do not to go to Keshi Ghat. If you have even a slight desire to enjoy with wives, sons, relatives, friends, then listen to my advice. Never go to Keshi Ghat in Vrindavan, even by mistake. There Sri Govindaji is standing in his charming threefold bended form, smiling. A person who even once beholds his deity, this deity of Govinda, never returns to his home, and his household life is ruined. In other words, by having darshan of Govindaji at Keshi Ghat, one is free from all the material attachments and becomes mad after him, like all the residents of Raja. This is the threefold bending form. Isn't Radharani basically selling the same thing, if you notice? So I sent you beautiful forms. I hope you got a chance to see them. This is Chandan Yatra Darshan going on from ISKCON of Govardhan of Govardhan Eco Village, Vada. So beautiful, so mesmerizing. So in short, bhakti, those who are sincere devotees, they get this higher taste. They get this higher taste through Krishna consciousness, through bhakti, through hearing and chanting, that they naturally give up lower taste. This is the meaning. Any comments, thoughts here in this text or otherwise? Text 19, anyone wants to read? Anyone, please, let's quick.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I'll try.
Yes.
Vayamritam ivaji jiham abhyaratam saddha dhanaha kulikarutum ivagyaha Krishna vadavaharinyaha Dudrusur asakrid etat tannakha sparsattvibhra smararuja upamantrin bhanyatam anya varta. Translation and purport by the disciple of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Faithfully taking his deceitful words as true, we became just like the black deer's foolish wives, who trust the cruel hunter's song. Thus, we repeatedly felt the sharp pain of loss caused by the touch of his nails. O messenger, please talk about something besides Krishna. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti categorized this statement of Srimati Radharani's as ajalpa, as defined by Srila Rupa Goswami. Jahimyam tasya tridevam cha nirvedad yatra kirtitam bhanganya sukha dattvam cha sa ajarpa udirataha. A statement spoken is discussed describing how the male lover is deceitful and brings one misery, and also implying that he gives happiness to others, is known as ajalpa. Ujjwala Niramani 14.196. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please explain.
Hare Krishna. Krishna book. Radharani continued to speak, the black messenger of Krishna. Please do not talk any more about Krishna. It is better to talk about something else. We are already doomed like the black spotted she-deer in the forest, who are enchanted by the sweet musical vibration of the hunter. In the same way, we have been enchanted by the sweet words of Krishna. And by thinking of the rays of his toenails again and again, we are becoming more and more lusty for his association. Therefore, I request you to not to talk of Krishna anymore. They may seem like, hey, don't talk about Krishna, like non-devotee kind of philosophy. But this is very high level of devotion, which is hard to even comprehend. These talks of Radharani with the bumblebee, including her accusing Krishna in so many ways, are at the same time expressing her inability to give up talking about him. Transcendental love. Topmost transcendental ecstasy called Mahābhāva is only possible in persons of Radharani and her associates. And actually, this is the Mahābhāva. This is the pure Radha Bhava which Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu has come to give to all of us. The best of the best thing. To the worst of the worst people of Kali Yuga. This is the magnanimous nature of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanis Tadham Avindam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavato Vargena Vakalpita Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanam Prema Pumartho Mahan Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu Matamidam Tatradara Naparam. So he is giving that topmost love of Srimati Radharani to all of us. He's opened the floodgates of love of Godhead so that people like us can try to absorb ourselves. The highest, the brightest jewel of love of Godhead. So the Acharyas are saying, like Rupa Goswami, Vishnu Thakur, that these speeches are not actually criticism, are not actually slang or abuse or bad, but they are the highest level of pure love of God. Any comments? Next 20, anyone?
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, can you explain a little bit more about Ajalpa? We know Prajalpa, but this word I am listening first time, Ajalpa, where is mentioned Srimati Radharani's statement as known as Ajalpa.
Yes, Mataji, there are 10 types of Jalpa here. You see this word Jalpa is coming 47 times in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here.
Yeah.
The Chitra Jalpa has 10 manifestations. Prajalpa, which we do is bad, but when it is done in transcendental aspect, it becomes pure. Parijalpa, Vijalpa, Ujjalpa, Sanjalpa, Avajalpa, Abhijalpa, Ajalpa. We are at this verse, then we are going to read two more, Pratijalpa and Sujalpa.
Yeah. What is the
So
verse number, Prabhuji?
this text is earlier 13 something, 21. So from 21, actually, the next 21 we have not even read, right? So this must be before, but before also it starts to come before only. Yes, it starts to come from here, from 12 onwards. So the first text has what? Prajalpa. Then
Jalpa.
Jalpa, Parijalpa. So what is that you're asking us? So in the last line, Vijalpa is a sarcastic speech that is addressed by the killer of Aga. So in the last line, there is explanation also of all those Jalpas. There are 10 categories here. I know it's very technical and we may
Yes,
not
Prabhuji.
be able to distinguish even the difference between.
I have known about only Prabhuji Prajalpa. And yeah, I'll go through these verses.
It's certainly complex to comprehend. I mean, we can read one more time. Let's see. A statement spoken in disgust describing how the male lover is deceitful and brings one misery, and also implying that he gives happiness to others. That is called ajalpa. We have only material understanding of this, right? Like even prajalpa, we have material understanding. But in a pure state, it becomes transcendental. Like criticism becomes, in a pure state, an offering. What Radharani is doing, all these are technically like if an ordinary person is saying, an ordinary person misbehaves and goes to another person, another woman, and their lover is describing the male lover as deceitful and bringing misery. It is out of great pain and maybe suffering and divorce, fight, criticism, court cases, all that, right? But here it's a different level, which is beyond our comprehension. So, as we were talking, material world, reflection of the spiritual world. The topmost becomes the bottommost. The bottommost becomes the topmost.
Yeah.
Okay, text 20. Anyone wants to read?
I can read from here.
Yes, ma'am.
प्रियसख पुनरागा प्रेयसा प्रेषितः किं वरय किमनुरुन्धे माननीयोऽसि मेङ्ग नयसि कथमिहास्मान् दुस्त्यज द्वन्द्वपार्श्वं सततमरसि सौम्य श्रीवधू साकमास्ते. Translation and purport by the disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O friend of my dear one, has my beloved sent you here again? I should honor you, friend, so please choose whatever boon you wish. But why have you come back here to take us to him, whose conjugal love is so difficult to give up? After all, gentle bee, his consort is the goddess Śrī, and she is always with him, staying upon his chest. Purport. In Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada explains the context of this verse. While Radharani was talking with the bee, and the bee was flying hither and thither, it all of a sudden disappeared from her sight. She was in full mourning due to separation from Kṛṣṇa and felt ecstasy by talking with the bee. But as soon as the bee disappeared, she became almost mad, thinking that the messenger bee might have returned to Kṛṣṇa to inform him all about her talking against him. Kṛṣṇa must be very sorry to hear it, she thought. In this way, she was overwhelmed with another type of ecstasy. In the meantime, the bee flying hither and thither appeared before her again. She thought, Kṛṣṇa is still kind to me. In spite of the messengers in spite of the messengers carrying disruptive messages, he is so kind that he has again sent the bee to take me to him. Srimati Radharani was very careful this time not to say anything against Kṛṣṇa. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that the goddess of fortune, Śrī, has the power to assume many different forms. Thus, when Kṛṣṇa enjoys other women, she stays on his chest in the form of a golden lion. When he is not consorting with other women, she puts aside this form and gives him pleasure in her naturally beautiful form of a young woman. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, this statement of Srimati Radharani's expresses Pratijalpa as described by Srila Rupa Goswami. दुस्त्यज द्वन्द्व भावे अस्मिन् प्रातिर्नार्हेति अनुद्धतं दूतसम्मानेनानुक्तं यत्र सो प्रतिजल्पकः. When the lover humbly states that although she is unworthy of attaining her beloved, she cannot give up hoping for a conjugal relationship with him. Such words spoken with respect for her beloved's message are called Pratijalpa. Ujjwal Neelmani 14.198. Here, Srimati Radharani has given up her harsh feelings and humbly acknowledges the greatness of Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for reading. So I think we read, so the bee apparently disappeared for some time, and Radharani started to think, oh no, oh no. The bee will say, oh, this Radharani is thinking like this. She's talking like you are ungrateful, you are deceitful, you are cheater, you are this, you are, you did all these wrong things. And Krishna will become mad at me. And Krishna would not want to talk to me. And Krishna will never want to see me. I'm so unqualified. Krishna, what he'll think about me? This is what? Pratijalpa. She's feeling that she's unworthy of attaining her beloved in a humble way. That is Pratijalpa. That I said all these wrong things. And then suddenly the bee appears again. And she's so happy. Krishna is so kind. Although he heard all those wrong things, what I had said, but still he sent the messenger back. But I'll be very careful this time to not say anything bad against my Krishna. So Radharani is talking to the bee. So we read the Krishna book section right in the purport. And then Radharani's thought, when she appeared back, Radharani thought, okay, Krishna is still kind, that he sent the bee. My dear friend, I welcome you, she said. Krishna is so kind that he has sent you again. Krishna is kind and affectionate to me. He's fortunately sent you back in spite of you carrying my message against him. All good fortune to you, my dear friend. Now you come, take me to Kṛṣṇa because he is not able to come here, being surrounded by the new girlfriends in Mathura, but you are a tiny creature. How can you take me there? How will you be able to help me to meet Kṛṣṇa while he is taking rest there with the goddess of fortune embracing her to his chest? Never mind. Let us forget all these things about going there and sending you. Please let me know how Kṛṣṇa is faring in Mathura. Tell me if he still remembers his foster father Nanda Maharaj, his affectionate mother Yashoda, his cowherd friends, and his poor friends like us, the gopis. I'm sure he must sometimes sing about us, who served him just like maidservants without any payment. Is there any possibility that Krishna will come back and place his aguru-scented hand on our heads? They say that in the Gopi Geet also. Please put all these inquiries to Krishna. We read a little bit of the next verse also, so let's quickly complete this as the last verse for today. Anyone who has not yet read? Anjali, want to read? Anyone else? Preeti Mataji, Shital Mataji, Sharanya Mataji, anyone?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Okay, please Mataji.
अपीबत मधुपुर्यम् आर्यपुत्र दुनसते स्मृति स पितृगेहन् सौम्य बन्धुंश्च गोपन क्वचिद् अपि स कथा न किङ्कारिणं गृह्णीते भुजम् अगुरु सुगन्धं मृद्ने अदस्यत् कदानु. I'm sorry, Prabhuji. My eyesight is very weak. In spite of wearing my glasses, I'm not able to read properly.
No, Mataji. It's okay. We're trying. Shall I increase the font?
No, Prabhuji, it's okay. I always like widen on my screen, but still I'm not able to read very nicely on phone.
No worries. All good. You want to read the translation?
Translation. O Uddhava, it is indeed regrettable that Krishna resides in Mathura. Does he remember his father's household affairs and his friends, the cowherd boys? O great soul, does he ever talk about us, his maidservants? When will he lay on our heads a guru-scented hand? Purport. The translation and word meanings for this verse are taken from Srila Prabhupada's Caitanya-caritāmṛta Adi 6.68. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti writes very poetically with deep spiritual insight about the emotions expressed in this and the previous 9 verses. He interprets Radharani's feelings as follows. Srimati Radharani thought, since Krishna was once satisfied in Vraja but left for Mathura city, won't he also develop a desire to leave that place and go somewhere else? Mathura is so close to Vrindavan that it's possible he may even come back here. Krishna is the son of a respectable gentleman, Nanda Maharaj, so he must be staying in Mathura because of his sense of obligation to his father, who authorized his going there. On the other hand, while Nanda's whole life is dedicated exclusively to Krishna, Nanda is so innocent that he allowed himself to be tricked by Yadus, who brought Krishna to Mathura. Krishna must be thinking, alas, alas, since even my father could not bring me back to Vraj, what can I do to return there? Thus, Krishna must be impatient to come back here, and so he has to send you a messenger. Should I read Prabhuji or stop?
Quite a purport. You can read one or two more paragraphs and then someone else can read. You can read
Okay.
here.
It is only because Nanda is so innocent that he allowed his son to leave. If Nanda had allowed Krishna's mother, the queen of Vraja, to do so, she would have climbed onto Akrura's chariot and, holding her son by the neck, gone off to Mathura with him, followed by all the gopis. But this was not possible. Ever since Krishna left, Nanda has been stunned by separation from him, and Nanda's treasury rooms, storehouses, kitchens, sleeping quarters, opulent houses, and so on are now vacant. Unswept and uncleansed, they are littered with grass, dust, leaves, and cobwebs. Does Krishna ever remember his father's houses? And does he sometimes remember Subala and his other friends who are now lying stunned in other neglected houses?
The longer purport. So what do you say? Should we complete it? We'll quickly complete it. Shall I read?
Yes, Prabhuji, you go ahead and read because it will take time for me to read.
The women in Mathura who now associate with Krishna cannot know how to serve him in the way that pleases him most. When they see he is not satisfied and ask how they can make him happy, does he tell them about us, devotees? Krishna must tell them, you city ladies cannot please me as much as the gopis of Braja. They are the most expert in stringing flower garlands, perfuming their bodies with ointments, playing various rhythms and melodies on stringed instruments, dancing and singing in the rasa performance, displaying their beauty, charm, cleverness, and skillfully playing at questions and answers. These are all the leelas Krishna used to do with the gopis. So Radharani is recalling that. They are especially expert in the pastimes of meeting one's lover and showing jealousy, jealous anger, and other signs of pure love and affection. Surely, Krishna must know this. Therefore, he'll probably tell the women of Mathura, my dear women of the Yadu clan, please go back to your families. I no longer desire to associate with you. In fact, I'm going back to Vraja early tomorrow morning. When will Krishna speak like this and come back here to place his hand, fragrant with aguru, type of a scent, on our heads? Then he will console us, saying, O beloved of my heart, I swear to you that I'll never abandon you again and go elsewhere. Indeed, I have not been able to find anyone in all the three worlds with even a trace of your good qualities. Thus, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti interprets the feelings of Srimati Radharani. The Acharya further explains that the present text displays the speech called Sujalpa. It's the 10th of the Jalpa, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami. Yatrarjavat gambhiryam sadainyam saha chapalam sotkantham cha hari prishta sasujalpa nigadyate. When one out of honesty, honest sincerity, a lover questions Sri Hari with gravity, humility, unsteadiness, and eager, such speech is known as Sujalpa, Ujjwal Nilmani, 14.200. Concluding this section of chapter 47, Srila Vishwanath Thakur explains that there are 10 types of divine madness, Divyonmāda, divine madness, which are expressed in the 10 types of Chitra Jalpa. Chitra means picture, right? Chitra. It's like very artistic talk or variegated speech. Such divine madness is shown in the special pastime of bewilderment, which is itself part of the supreme bliss, Mahabhav of Srimati Radharani. The Acharya quotes the following verses of Srila Rupa Goswami's Ujjwal Nilmani 14.174, 178 to 80 to explain these ecstasies. Prayo vrindavanishwaryam mohanoyam udanchati etasya mohan akyasya gatim kam upeyushaha brahma Bhramabha kapi vechirtri Divyonmāda itiryate Udghurna chitra jalpadyas tadbheda bhavo mataha Prishthasya suhrida loke gudar rosha bhijribhitaha Bhuri bhava mayo jalpo yasti vrot ti antimaha chitta jalpo dasango yam prajalpo paijalpita vijalpo jalpa sanjalpa avajalpa bhijalpitam. तो चित्र जल्पा के 10 भाग हैं, 10 parts. Dasa anga, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sujalpa. Ajalpa pratijalpascha sujalpascheti kirtitaha. It is only when the princess of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, that the ecstasy of bewilderment arises. Only within the princess of Vrindavan. She has attained a special stage of this bewilderment, a wonderful state that resembles delusion, Divyonmāda. It has many aspects which come and go unsteadily. And one of these manifestations is Chitrajalpa. This talk, induced by her seeing her beloved's friend, is filled with covert anger and comprises many different ecstasies. It culminates in her intense, anxious eagerness. Just this Chitrajalpa has 10 divisions, known as what we just read. Finally, some authorities say that Kṛṣṇa himself, eager to drink the sweetness of his beloved's speech, assumed the form of the messenger bee. Haribol. The bee is representing Kṛṣṇa. The bee is representing messenger of Kṛṣṇa. The bee is also representing Uddhava. So multiple aspects of bee is representing. So this basically completes the Bhramar Geeta, the 10 verses starting from 12 to 21. Those are the 10 verses comprising the 10 aspects of Chitrajalpa. These are the 10 aspects. So transcendental anger, complaint, humility, and only the queen of Vrindavan, the princess of Vrindavan, can experience that. No ordinary soul, no ordinary person can experience that, and it's Divyonmāda, the transcendental bliss. So we cannot artificially start saying, okay, we'll also start calling Kṛṣṇa crooked, we'll calling him ungrateful. No, that is imitation. So we have to be at where we are and take inspiration and follow in the footsteps of the servant of the gopis. Any comments, thoughts here before we wrap up? Kantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purāṇa ki jai, Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Samved Gaur Bhakta-vrinda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyaiva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaः. Thank you, Hari Bol.